So this is kind of a follow-up to the other video I did talking about the flops of summer 2026, and I can almost guarantee you that Supergirl is going to massively underperform unless something drastic changes. And now they're cutting almost a half an hour from this movie before they release it, and this is after apparently 10 different test screenings where they added more Clark Kent, added more Superman to it. And yeah, I don't know. It's shaping up to be a disaster. It tells me that a couple of things are going on here. Either the footage they cut, they're cutting it because they're replacing it with something else, maybe, or they're cutting it because they want to be able to fit more screenings in. Because I think now it's only like an hour and a half long. It was 2 hours long. 2 hours is kind of the sweet spot now. But again, if you want to have as many screenings of this movie as possible, you're going to cut some time off too. Or the stuff they cut is just dumb as shit. It's like it's not necessary to the movie. But it is very weird that they're cutting it, trimming it this close to release. Now, this does happen sometimes. I think Star Wars went through a bunch of revisions before it was finally released. R.I.P. Marsha Lucas. But that was Star Wars before it was Star Wars, right? It was an indie sci-fi film that nobody had any hope for. And as far as I can tell, Supergirl is going to be the make or break it for James Gunn for the DCU. Now, he is working on Man of Tomorrow right now, obviously, but his version of DC is not in a great place currently, and the Ellisons are going to be taking over Warner Brothers. And I don't know how that's going to go over, to be honest. I don't think he's going to play ball with the Ellisons. But I think money talks, and if this one does not make money, I think he could potentially be out. Now, will they restore the Snyderverse? I don't know about that, but they do have Saudi money, and the Saudis apparently like the Snyderverse. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Anyway, we're going to talk about this before we get into it any further. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Go out to more.clownfishtv.com. That's more.clownfishtv.com for more Clownfish TV, including episodes you will not find elsewhere, including Geeky Ranting. If you want more Geeky, she has not been in the last couple of videos. Side note, her dad is in the hospital. He's fine, but he was in the hospital for a few days, so she's been visiting over there. That's why she has not been in videos. So check it out. More.clownfishtv.com. And also, if you'd like to listen to us, go out to iHeartRadio, iTunes, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts, Amazon Music. We are there. So let's talk about this. First, we're going to talk about the box office. It's not looking good. And I think this is even optimistic based on what I've seen. Again, just kind of looking at how many seats have been sold. They tried to claim that Supergirl was doing so fantastic that it crashed the AMC app and it was just, business as usual. But this is coming from Microsoft's Copilot. So the AI is saying Supergirl is not looking good. It said projections suggest Supergirl is going to open at 55 million domestic, well under Superman's 125 million debut. The trailer is sparking buzz. They have a new trailer. It looks a little bit better than the last trailer, but I think people have already made up their mind about this movie one way or the other. And they do have a crypto bucket, popcorn bucket coming, but they have popcorn buckets for everything. I don't know if Disclosure Day has a popcorn bucket. Maybe they need a popcorn bucket. They should have like an alien enema popcorn bucket. It's like an alien bent over and shove popcorn up its ass or something. I don't know. Maybe that would do well. Who knows? I'd love to see what the ET popcorn buckets would be like now with a special appendage. Anyway, this is worldofreal.com. Supergirl cut nearly 25 minutes of footage ahead of its release. Okay, and I have to give a hat tip to Vincent, who sent this over. Test screenings often provide an early look at a film, but the version audiences eventually see in theaters can be quite different. The process fascinates me more than the actual scores. That would be the writer. Offers a glimpse into how filmmakers shape and refine their movies. Okay. Sinners, they cut it down. Actually, one of the worst cuts, in my opinion, is Dark City. They added that monologue at the beginning that basically just gives away the entire plot twist. And I'm like, what are you doing? Because they thought the audience was too dumb. And see, also, like every Ridley Scott movie in the 80s got butchered. Legend, the director's cut. Absolutely, positively seek it out. It is a vastly different movie. It's amazing. But yeah, they went with the synth pop soundtrack and cut like a half an hour out of that one too. This though, I think has more to do with it not coming together than artistic choices. Said sometimes drastic changes work, other times they don't make much of a difference. So this is Supergirl. The film has been screening for months now. It's evolved significantly with each new cut. Supergirl is reportedly test screened more than 10 times, more than I can recall for any other studio film this decade. Again, this is coming from World of Real. I have not been covering it super close. There have been 3 different endings shown, with the latest attached to last week's California screening. That cut reportedly ran an hour and 50 minutes and included additional Clark Kent Superman scenes. So now what's going on? In January of 2026, just a few months ago, the film reportedly had a runtime of 2 hours and 5 minutes. We now have the official runtime, and a lot's been cut. Supergirl will run an hour and 47 minutes, including credits, which can account for anywhere between 5 and 7 minutes. That means that in the last 5 months, roughly 25 minutes of footage have been removed. It's not just the runtime that's been drastically altered. The film has gone through 3 composers. Yeah, that's kind of concerning too. Like, why are there so many changes to this movie? When discussing his experience making Supergirl, Gillespie, who's actually the director, it's not actually James Gunn, has reportedly shut down rumors that James Gunn creatively interfered with the film. Of course, whether the numerous test screening changes and recuts originated from Gunn or Gillespie himself is something none of the principals have publicly addressed. Maybe the changes will work. Supergirl, which was initially met with very mixed reactions following last year's first batch of test screenings, has reportedly been testing a little better in recent months. Now that the final cut is locked, it will no longer be screened for audiences. It's going to be interesting to see how this one turns out. We will know very soon whether or not the multiple changes pay off for James Gunn and company. I don't think people give a crap. I could be wrong. Even Superman, like, people went to go see Superman and people liked it, and it did good. I mean, I guess you have to temper your expectations now, because it did like 600 million, but it used to be that like every one of these movies would do $1 billion. Like Aquaman did $1 billion, right? And that was pre-pandemic, but I'm sure people are paying attention. The bean counters are paying attention. Like, how come Aquaman, like how many years ago, Aquaman did $1 billion? I think Wonder Woman might have done close to $1 billion or $1 billion. Like, the Snyderverse movies did better. And then, of course, we had Black Adam, and everything just kind of like went downhill. I keep forgetting Shazam exists, and those movies were, well, the first movie is pretty good. I only saw part of the second one. I was like, whatever. Oh, they're going against Spider-Man. Yeah, not a good call. It's going to get walloped by sheer inertia, says one of the comments. I agree. Spider-Man's on its 11th time around, and it's coming out late in July. By then, Supergirl will have already made bank and then some. Oh, no, it's not going to. Yeah, this person's right. Oh, buddy, Supergirl is absolutely not making bank. The Minions movie opens the week after. It's already dead. Yeah, and we have Toy Story 5 coming. And then whatever's already in the theaters, the horror movies that are in the theaters. I mean, it would be wild if they were trying to pander to Gen Z with like Gen Z Supergirl, and Gen Z goes to the $1 million horror movies instead of seeing Supergirl. This guy says, I really think the Marvels actually could have used more time for the chemistry of the leads and the punch-up of the stories. Marvel should have been another standalone Captain Marvel pick, says this person. Yeah, director's cut implies the director's original vision was not needed or was not heeded. It doesn't imply that you pile on deleted scenes and outtakes as a marketing exercise, which seems to be what you're looking for. Yeah, people are asking for director's cut already. I would love to see the original pre-Marshall Lucas Star Wars just to see what a cluster it actually was. I think they're doing what they can do to salvage this movie, and I don't know if it's going to work. I mean, I'm not saying it's not going to be a bad movie, but this has been a really interesting one to watch, especially with Millie Alcock, some of the comments she's been making, which is like everything you don't do. And I'm going to be real, I'm not a huge fan of the James Gunn direction for DC. I think James Gunn is good when he plays, when he stays his own lane. He does his Guardians of the Galaxy type movies or whatever, but he's turning every movie into a Guardians movie. The one thing that Superman had going for it, one, the casting was really good. And I will give you that. Like, I gave Superman a very mid review, but that's because I wanted more Superman in my Superman movie. I didn't think it was a terrible movie at all, but it was an ensemble movie, right? And Superman got lost in that. That's like James Gunn's whole thing, is he does ensemble movies. Now, this one is directed by somebody else, but the one thing that Superman had going for it was production, the costumes, the color. It looked like a comic book. It was a very colorful movie. This thing looks drab as hell. Like, it looks washed out, drab, dark, dingy, 90s. And not in the good way, but like everything is dirty. This is like, we had to put the X-Men in black leather because we couldn't have any color in the 90s. And it just looks like a dirty movie. And it is strange, like all the posters and everything you see for it is like very colorful and whatever. And I'm like, but then you watch the trailer and it's like mud, right? Like, and it just there's nothing about it that's like visually interesting to me. And, maybe that's intentional because we found out like with Mandalorian and Grogu after the fact that the reason everything looked green is because a lot of the movie takes place on Nal Hutta, which is, Jabba the Hutt's home planet. And everything is kind of green on that planet. And that's why it looked that way. So maybe this is okay, we're going to have a big chunk of the movie takes place in the dirty ass space pirate hangout or whatever. I don't know. But, as we've talked more about Supergirl movie, I've been looking at the artwork for the Woman of Tomorrow comic series. I'm like, the artwork's gorgeous. It's really, when they're not putting Star Wars characters in, it's actually, the artwork is very, very nice. It's very bright and colorful. And, this is just not. It's just not. But we'll see. We'll see how it does. What do you guys think? I'm going to wrap it up. Please subscribe. We'll talk later.